Hi guys, it's me again, and I wanted to do a review of this Roccat Kone AIMO Remastered version. Remember, this is a drag clicker's guide, but before we start the video about drag clicking, this is the most beautiful mouse I've ever seen. It has over 10 buttons, and no, I can't memorize 2 digits number. Please don't bully me. Psst, quick tip guys. If you want an insanely high CPS drag clicking mouse, this is not the mouse for you. But if you're a God Bridger and you want a God Bridger mouse, like a bridging mouse, then this is most definitely the mouse for you. Just a quick tip, back to the video. Okay, we're gonna go on to our first section of drag clicking on this mouse, which is going to be hand position. Now, as you know, this mouse is a fairly large mouse, even compared to my hand, which is quite large. And it's hard to grip if you use a normal mouse grip. I recommend you have this claw grip at all times, because it's easier to drag click. Now, using this claw grip for your left click, it's slightly higher than your right click button. So what you want to do is put your thumb in this gap here, lift your second finger and all your other fingers, attach your palm to this Roccat logo like that, and then you can just move your third finger forward. Again, I can't do very well on my second finger. Yeah. You can do that for your left click. Now, personally, I think this left click button is better to click on the right click button than the right click button, because from what I've noticed, it gets higher CPS from 25 to 30 CPS. Whereas the right click so far only got 15 to 25. Now, moving on to the right click. Like I said, the right click button is slightly under the left click button, so you're going to have to move your entire hand position a bit down. Now, again, keep your thumb in this gap here, but this time put these two fingers on the side of the mouse until it's the point that it slightly touches the ground. And then again, lift your second finger, and well, you can drag click fairly easily after there. Now, this is for the long drag clicking. For the short drag clicking, this mouse is absolutely amazing for God bridging, Breezely bridging, whatever you want to do, because this is very heavy. This is 130 grams, and well, the mouse skates save you from any hand pain because they are pretty slidey, but it still prevents from any movement of this mouse when you're short drag clicking. For example, when I do this, there's zero movement at all. I have no trouble doing this whatsoever, even during reducing. And it's a really great mouse for MLG rush and clutching. Although I had some problems with butterfly clicking because this is very large and I sometimes just click the scroll wheel instead. Well, that's irrelevant. Now, the hand positioning for your short drags would be, well, just similar to any other mouse. Just hold your finger above your mouse and just lightly tap it, but just give it a little drag. And remember, use your third finger because it's a lot easier to do. Now, on to the second section, which is going to be, well, how you drag click. Now, I know I just explained it as just drag your finger, but it's a bit more complicated as that. So when you're long dragging, so if you use the tip of your finger, it becomes like this. So you don't get any drag at all. But if you use between this part and your fingernail around here, then you can get a lot of CPS. Plus, it's really comfortable as well. It doesn't build much fatigue. And it doesn't hurt your fingers either. Now, it's the same for the left click, but just that you use more of the bottom part of your finger for the left click. Well, I guess that's really it for the long drag. And the short drag, I consider, is a lot easier. So what you have to do is use not your fingernails, but barely under it. So just do that. And remember, on this mouse, to get the max CPS for your short drags, use the edges like this. But if you're new to drag clicking, I recommend you just start with this middle and slowly just edge over to here or this side. So this is fine. You can still muster about 12 CPS per short drag, and it's generally a good mouse for short dragging, as I mentioned before. Now the third section is going to be CPS. Now because I don't have OBS yet, I can show it to you guys, but now I can guarantee you this can get, after about a day or two, at least 15 to 20 CPS. On day 3 or 4, you can get 25 to 30 CPS, and that's where I'm at right now. So you have to wear down your switches. So that means like just drag clicking in your free time, maybe butterfly clicking, to wear down your switches to make them more capable of double clicking. Now if you want, you can just download a separate program. It's called the Roccat Swarm. But it doesn't really matter for this mouse unless you want to change the lighting, because the zero debounce feature that gives the Roccat mice such high CPS is not included with this mouse. I've asked the Roccat main base about it, why it's not included, but they just say it's not a valid feature for this mouse. So try downloading external programs excluding the Roccat Swarm, but from my experience it's not gonna work. So your best option would just be to wear down these switches. But if you want to change your LED, then sure, download the Roccat Swarm. And that's about it I have to say about CPS. Well, except for the fact that you can use things like fidget spinners and bolt clicking to get insane amounts of CPS, but if you're like a normal person with no mental illness, you don't have to do that much. By the way, I am one of those people. Whatever. Now, our last section is gonna be what situations is it useful in. Now, the game I'm focusing in would be Minecraft because, well, come on, that's the only game that has any use for high CPS. Well, I'd say this is probably one of the best mice for MLG Rush or Stick Duel. You can get an average of 20 CPS on your left click when you're reducing, which gives it which makes it an excellent mouse for MLG Rush. And it's just so incredibly easy to reduce on this mouse because it doesn't require much effort to do the left drag click. I feel like I could just do this all day, every second. Now for just normal PvP, this mouse is like I said, it's very heavy and hard to control, and if you don't get used to this claw grip, then it's hard to just get lots of CPS. Normal clicking and butterfly clicking is good on this mouse, but again, there's no zero debounce feature, so you're only gonna get about 10 to 15 CPS using this. I've seen some people get to 20, but that's not me, or probably not you, because it's a very hard skill to master. Now, for high pixel game modes, which does include PvP, again, this is probably not the best choice. Now, if you want a mouse that can drag click and PvP well, I'd recommend the Glorious Model O or D. But again, for bridging or God bridging, Breezely bridging, this mouse is just absolutely insane. So if you're a Bed Wars fan or a Bedless New fan and you really want a God bridge, you should probably get this mouse, although it's a bit pricey for your first drag click mouse. So again, I recommend the Glorious Model O or the Glorious Model D. Well, thank you for watching, guys. Please leave a like and subscribe and comment if you just want a normal mouse review for the Kone AIMO Remastered, or a review of the AM Pro 2, which is an excellent mini keyboard. Well, thank you for watching, and goodbye.